Hey guys, usually in my videos I have a good purpose for what I'm talking about. It's kind of like, hey, today we're going to talk about mindset, we're going to talk about tactics, or here I've got something important for you. Right now it's just kind of me hanging out with my new friend Bryan Black. He's the founder of ITS Tactical, a tiny little company nobody's ever heard of. Right now it's a big company, and he's like an expert YouTube guru, and I've got his logo right there that I designed.
It's trademark, buddy.
It's trademark. He keeps threatening to sue. We were telling rip-off stories. Oh, by the way, if we're just kind of hanging out, we're going to talk about some of their products, which are really important for medical, and he does some other stuff. He just finished a night vision course just a few minutes ago, and so we're both so beat. If he'd looked at me 5 minutes ago and been like, you want to do a video? I'm like, no. So finally we got some coffee, and we're like, sure, let's shoot a video. So this is kind of just us chatting, hanging out, talking about some products, and get your take on night vision or whatever else. So I don't want to waste anybody's time. We're just kind of bros hanging out. So this is Bryan Black, ITS Tactical. What does ITS Tactical do?
I'm glad you asked that, John.
What a leading question. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers,
Good
man.
job with finishing
Thank you for,
night vision
having
and
me out at the course.
not shooting your favorite night vision instructor. Am I your favorite night vision instructor of all time?
You are.
Since the dawn of man?
Funny enough, yeah. First and only.
How'd you like the class?
It was very educational, man. I really got a lot out of the class. I appreciated the gear aspect. Obviously is what I'm a geek about. But
Bryan is what's called a gear nerd.
I wear that badge proudly, my friend.
And I'm not a gear nerd. I'm just kind of like, hey, this looks like a pretty good solution. I'm like a skills tactics, and he's a skills guy too, but he's just really dorks out on gear in a major way. And so guys like me always make fun of Bryan. We're like, haha, gear nerd. And then we're like, but what is that? That's pretty cool.
Funny how that works.
And so we'll go out and get all the cool stuff that he does. So I'll make fun of you and then actually silently respect you.
As long as there's some measure of respect.
There's a small degree. Don't let it go to your head or anything. But show me what you got. So ITS Tactical, the main stuff y'all deal in.
So first off, ITS is really kind of it's a skill set development company. That's really what I founded at principle wise. So we are there to provide kind of skills and information for military, law enforcement, outdoor enthusiasts, things like that. So that's kind of the root of the company. So when I started, while I call myself a gear nerd, that's really what the focus was whenever ITS started in 2009. There were a lot of companies out there, very well-respected, reputable blogs that were talking about gear, like Military Morons and Soldier Systems, which both sites that I still love. Cool. But there really wasn't a lot of talk about the skills behind all the new gear. So that's kind of how ITS started, was specifically speaking to skills like lockpicking and knot tying and rappelling and things like that are kind of the skills that go into using certain gear, but it really just wasn't.
And the lockpicking thing, I've gotten through a lot of locks. Usually it's thousands of kicked in doors, probably I don't know over exact, hundreds and hundreds of kicked in doors. Lockpicking's really cool. I can't do that at all. So I look forward. You got to give me a little tutorial. Show me your dorky gear, and then give me your cool guy skill. No, just if he was really just strictly a gear nerd, he wouldn't be at a night vision course learning and training. So he brought his certain gear that he thought was good to go, had a little bit of a learning curve.
Yeah.
And so I was able to help the gear nerd out with some gear as well, and then he's in turn helping me as well. So lockpicking stuff, I mean, that's really out of my lane. I don't know anything at all about that, and I want to grow in that and check out what you got. I saw his little kit right off the bat, and I'm kind of like, I have no idea how to use that, and I want that, and you got to teach me how. And you do medical stuff too.
Yeah, medical stuff
so you got a few things that I immediately coveted. I wished he was giving me these things, and he wasn't. So
this is basically what I brought with me to class. Just kind of what I carry. This is kind of a larger trauma kit. We call this our ETA trauma kit. Okay. The ETA stands for treating the three leading preventable causes of death according to the Committee on Tactical Combat Casualty Care, which is extremity hemorrhage, tension pneumothorax, and airway obstruction. Those are like the big three.
Cool.
So these kind of kits cover that. This is more of a EDC kit.
And this right here, it's got an advanced and something else.
There's
right?
an advanced and a basic version. So basic just doesn't have a needle and NPA,
Okay.
and then the advanced has those things.
Yeah, so decompression needle and chest seals. And for me, I'm like, I immediately, that's pieces I want in the
Yep.
kit. I'm a old EMT, but I'm way expired, but I still kind of want my stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can legally do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud, because now I'm really screwed if I stick somebody and then like, hey, Chris, and then they like, I could see a courtroom filled out with this.
I'm a
video
good
playing.
Samaritan.
That was a stand-in. That was a stand-in. I totally did. So yeah. Anyway, pretty cool kit, and this is even smaller, vacuum sealed. And my big thing is, I mean, I just did an EDC video on kind of my setup. He immediately judged me for my RATS tourniquet, and I was like, look, if it's so bulky and big, I'm just not going to carry it. I'm living a normal life here as well. I don't want to have my Batman utility belt.
And the thing that I was saying about the tourniquet was just more so that I subscribe to the notion of adhering to the TCCC principles, and they specifically outline the CAT and the soft T wide, and those are kind of like the main tourniquets for what they feel can properly occlude.
And I agree. Those are tried, true tourniquets, and if your agency and your carrier, doing whatever, you're definitely good with one of those tourniquets, good to go. And this is more of a, we need to do some testing on the RADs. That's not out of the woods. It may be a great solution. It may end up being a bad solution. We'll see. But I happen to have one because it's either this or nothing right now. But this is, you have a soft T in here, quick clock gauze, which I love, and a pair of gloves, all vacuum sealed, so now I can throw it in a pocket.
Yep.
I could even put this in a sock or something.
Little ankle holster type.
Little
thing.
ankle holster, so there's some solutions for that. So
Yep.
that's a good deal. And y'all also have your fat boy and your tall boys that can go on something like
Yeah, those are the pouches that we make. Yeah.
on rigs or something like that. And then this guy for bag, I'll let you open it
It's
up.
just a boo-boo kit, so not everything that you need requires combat gauze, and
That's not true. Wrong.
But this is just basically a glorified first aid kit, so it's got a lot more stuff than a normal first aid kit you'd buy in the store has, meaning that it's even got, I say no combat gauze, but this is, it's got a quick clot EMS pad in it, so it's got a little bit of hemostatic agent in it, just a little bit. Just enough. Yeah, just sprinkle some
Like pixie
hemostatic
dust.
in
Pixie
there.
dust.
Yeah. Just sprinkle in the wound.
It's good. It's good. This is a terrible video.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. It's the time.
I'll find out who my real loyal
Yeah.
followers are. They're like, John, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know. I liked Bryan, and I think he's got cool solutions. And here's getting to know Bryan. And by the way, getting to know Bryan, you were, who's Bryan Black? Yeah, so you got a company. What'd you do before you had your company, ITS?
I was in the Navy for a couple of years.
Okay.
Kind of the story of how ITS started is, I had a little bit of background in web design and photography and stuff, and I was able to couple that with Navy experience and kind of my love for gear and knowledge, and that's kind of how ITS started. But I went into the Navy to become a SEAL. That didn't happen. Basically what happened is I was at the tail end of second phase, so I got through Hell Week and pool comp and some of the other bigger challenges of BUDS, and got a dive injury on a dragger in San Diego Bay there. So that kind of washed me out of the training pipeline. I kind of hung around for a little while doing some odd jobs around Naval Special Warfare trying to heal up, which never happened, and kind of got out after that.
Explain the injury.
So it was a dive accident. So I was on a dragger, which is so scuba is like self-contained breathing apparatus is what scuba stands for, and that's kind of telltale bubbles. A dragger is a chest-mounted rebreather unit that you're breathing in pure oxygen, and your exhale is getting scrubbed, so the CO2 is being removed, and then you're breathing that. So you can stay underwater with a tank like this big for 4 hours.
Okay, and Bryan had told me about this. I'm not learning this for the first time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of know a story, so we went out and hung out a couple nights ago. But it like he had all this toxic pulmonary edema in him, and so he's in a decompression chamber for like 6 hours and then jacked up for months. So he's not a dirt bag that's like, oh, I sprained my ankle, I can't finish. I mean, you were a dude who tried everything, and they're basically like, you can't, you're gone. I went through different training. I went through different military training, and some dudes were dirt bags, and they used medical reasons to just kind of go the easy way out and disappear. Like, oh, I sprained my ankle, or you know, and then there's other dudes that were good guys. They should be there. Sucky deal. Hey, you got cellulitis. The instructor saw it, and you're gone, and there's nothing you could have done any different. That sucks. You're a good dude. Hope to see you down the road. So it sounds like that kind of injury. So don't troll him or anything. He's a good dude, and I get to pit people. What's up? I get to put people in the shoot house and see how they do under stress and simulated gunfights, and I'll push them. And Bryan's a good dude. He did a real good job. Anyway, he's a good dude. So anyway,
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I've enjoyed hanging out. You did well.
Thanks.
Did well. Walked away with some good action points and things to work
Get to
on.
shoot through a wall. That was pretty cool.
Yes, and that was awesome. So fun story. He was in the shoot house, and all the we do training rounds, UTM, and when you put nods on, your night vision on with all this stuff, you're just fogged up, and he was wearing something that wasn't ideal, and he ended up changing his equipment, but it was just white sheet, couldn't see through it at all, and he was miserable. I could hear him just ticked off. As an instructor, I'm like, ooh, this is a good teachable moment. Let him get ticked off. Let him feel the pain of chaos and confusion, not being able to see, what mixed in with the cocktail of fear, and just kind of let it ride. And anyway, he had to fight through that, and he came up with a real fun improvisation of how he ended up taking down the threat. But in his mind, he was out of the fight. I wouldn't index, and he didn't even ask to it. He just kept going, silently being ticked off. I could sense it in the room. I loved it. It was palpable.
I just saw a green blob, but that's it.
But you trust me, it was okay. Good. Anyway, and in the end, he ended up pushing through it where many would have quit. He embraced the suck, and he creatively came up with a real cool solution, and he ended up winning the fight for the team. So he ended up really doing well. I was like cheering after I called index. He did a great job. So anyway, it was real cool to watch that and see you fight through that, man. It was
man. It was cool.
It was
good
cool.
Learning experience.
It was cool. Check out ITS Tactical. We'll put some links below so you can check out his gear, and he's got a ton of videos. And anyway, I really enjoyed hanging out with you, getting
Absolutely,
to know you, and seeing all the stuff you got and squaring me away. So
cool.
yeah, man. Go.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, pleasure. See you guys.